welcome back to my channel and thanks so much for clicking on today's video. If you're new here, my name's Olivia. I upload beauty, life and style videos here every week on the tube. So thanks so much for joining the fam gang. Okay, so as you can tell by the title, today we are doing a makeup haul with a twist. So we're going to be doing basically trying on the makeup so that you can see it in person. So I usually do these hauls and I'll do swatches and I'll show you the product, but sometimes you can't really get a sense of how that product is working until you kind of see it in action. So we're going to do all of that in today's video, and I have got almost a full face worth of products. I have been shopping again. So I've got almost a full face worth of products that we're going to use. So we're talking foundation, concealer, contour, blush, lip products, a ton of lip products. What else did I have here? Just, you know, a whole shebang. So we're going to see all of that in action to create this finished look right here. I'm a little bit hyper. The sun's out, I'm very, very excitable. Let me calm down. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, then just keep watching. But before we get into the video, if you haven't already, whether you are a new follower of this channel, or whether you are an oldie but a goodie who keeps coming back to these videos, if you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button. I would love if you did. It's just down there, so just give it a click. And you can also hit the notification bell as well if you'd like to be notified about when I upload. And you can also follow me over on Instagram as well, where I kind of like post about my daily tidbits over there. Okay, so that's enough of an intro. Let's get into it. Okay, I'm already starting off with my eyes done, and that's because I've already talked to you about this eyeshadow palette in my last video. If you haven't watched that, go and check it out. It's this Colour Drain Beauty Rust palette. This palette is just beautiful. I love Colour Drain. Their quality is top notch. Black owned, so you know we're about that life. Female owned, so you know we're about that. But I mean, just look at those colours. And then for my lashes, these are just an old pair of wispies that I've double stacked, so 2 pairs on top of each other. But the glue that I've used today was new. It's the Kiss Strip Adhesive Glue. Why haven't I been using this before? I am a die-hard Ardell Duo glue kind of gal. I've used this for the first time and it has blown me out of the water. It's of course got a little applicator that you kind of use to apply to the strip of the lash. Makes it really nice and easy, dries down clear. But unlike the Duo, you have to leave this to kind of dry down a little bit till it's almost dry. And then it sticks to your eye and it's like a magnet, like it's stuck to my eye, and I can already tell that I'm gonna like it. So I will keep you posted, but you'll notice if I keep mentioning this or using it in my videos and stuff, then you'll know that this is the girl. But I can already tell that I like this, and it's super affordable, also available on Cocoon. So if you're looking for a new glue, then definitely check that out. Okay, for base, I have a new foundation, concealer and contour to use, but we're just going to go in with my regulars for primer. So the Colourpop All Star Primer that I like to use because of its blurring properties. It's just really nice and it gives a nice soft matte but not dried out finish on the face. So just applying that, and then my New Day, the Milk Hydro Grip, which is just like, I understand the hype now. Just going to use a little bit of that on some of my trouble areas where, you know, foundation can break down. So all up here in the T-zone, just to make sure that it kind of sticks really nicely, but also that, yeah, the foundation lasts during the day. I've got a full day today. It's quite early today while I'm filming, and I've got a full day of like work and a workshop and that kind of stuff. So we will be seeing whether this will hold up. So the foundation I want to show you is this. It's the JUVIA'S Place I Am Magic foundation. I have tried this foundation before, but I got the wrong shade. So I picked up the shade 140 Angola. Too dark for me and a little bit of a mismatch on the undertone. So I kind of guessed and picked up a new shade. This is in the shade 200 Kenya. So we're going to see how that works on the face. The consistency of this foundation can be a little bit heavy, so I'm hoping that it won't, you know, be too difficult to apply. But I'm going for a dome-topped kabuki brush, but one with a little bit of movement, so not as stiff as some of my other ones. So I'm just going to put a little bit of this on the back of my hand. Okay, yeah, the shade is looking decent. I hope you can see that on there. It's looking like it might work for me. And then I'm just going to dab this on the face. And the only thing I might be worried about with this one is it might come off a little bit orangish when it dries down, but let's start applying it and we'll see. This is a really high coverage foundation, so if you are looking for something that will, like, you know, cover up your dark marks, or, you know, you're going to an event and you really want, like, your foundation to give you that flawless base, then this might be the foundation that you want to look into. This colour is actually pretty good. I hope it's translating on camera. I mean, it's picking up on the rest of my tones quite nicely. I don't know if it's a little bit, as I said, too warm and orange for me, but I am happy enough with where this shade is sitting. It's close enough to my skin that I will be able to make it work. Yeah, so let's see how that goes. Okay, next up is concealer. This is a new concealer for me, but not new to the brand. It's the JUVIA'S I Am Magic Concealer, and I got this in the shade 8. I'm just going to do you a swatch on the back of my hand so that you can get an idea. It's got a big doe foot applicator. It's pretty neutral looking. So I don't know whether I'm going to get enough golden in this to do what I want it to do. But let's put it on and then let's see. But people rave about this concealer, so I'm expecting good things. Yeah, this is actually pretty close to my complexion, just that it is a little bit neutral. And you can see that against the goldenness of the foundation. This is just a little bit too close to my shade for me to use this as a highlight. But let me just blend it out so that you can see, but I know I'm gonna have to go on top of this with another brighter concealer to get the lift that I want. Okay, so to be honest, I don't think this has done anything for me apart from maybe add a little bit of coverage under my eye. I don't think that it has brightened and given me the dimension that I would need to make my face look a bit more balanced. So yeah, not the right colour for me. I might keep it so I'll decide what to do with it. I might keep it in my makeup stash to kind of play around with, maybe if I'm doing other people's makeup, or I might get rid of it, we'll see. But I definitely need to pick up a brighter shade in this, so maybe I'll grab 9 or 10 to get the highlight that I want. Okay, so to get a little bit of that lift in my face, I'm gonna go in with the e.l.f. Camo Concealer in the shade Deep Chestnut. I also recently picked this up, but I showed it you in my last video, but it is pretty new. So just going to add a little bit of that for that lift. This is what I was hoping this number 8 would look like. So this was the kind of golden shade I was looking for. So let me blend this out on top, which I think will give me, yeah, that's it, I can see it already, a nice little lift. And then I do want just a teeny bit of lift right in the center, so I'm using the shade Deep Caramel, which is just a little bit lighter, literally right there. Usually I wouldn't use 3 concealers, you don't have to do this. It's just because I know the powder I'm going to use on top of this has a lot of pigment to it, so I don't want to lose the brightness that I've got going on now under my eye. So that's why I am layering these up. And sometimes it's like that when you're doing your makeup, that you need to like correct a mistake. That's very, very normal. Before I go in and set, I want to go in with my contour, and I got a new shade stick in the shade Congo. I opened this yesterday because these arrived just yesterday. I opened this yesterday and I was like, this looks way dark, you all. Very, very dark. It's the darkest shade they have, but I wasn't sure whether the shade down was gonna do a thing or not for me. So I'm gonna try this out, but I'm a little bit worried that it might be too dark. Let me show you what it looks like. There it is. It's such a beautiful, rich, dark chocolate shade. This would make a bomb lip liner, by the way, like, just saying. So I'm gonna put some lines on the old forehead, and then, oh God, a few dots there at the bottom of my cheek. But because it's a cream product, I'm hoping that it's gonna blend out easily and not give me too much hassle. So I'm just gonna use this kind of tapered stippling brush from BH Cosmetics to try and blend that out. Okay, so once you start blending, it's not as scary as it looks. That's good. And I think that's the beauty of cream products, like, as opposed to liquid products and powder products. I mean, with powder you can, I guess, kind of do this, but I feel like you have a lot more control with cream products to be able to get like a flawless blend with other products that you have on your face, particularly for like base. So I think that's why you see a lot of makeup artists prefer to use like cream concealers and cream bronzers and contours, because it's a lot easier to control, because it kind of warms up with the skin, so it blends in a lot easier. This is looking really nice. It's definitely giving me definition here across the cheek, and it is doing the necessary across the old forehead head. Okay, so for setting powder, I want to try out a new brush, and this brush is also from JUVIA'S Place. It's the highlighter brush. I'm not going to actually use it for highlighter though. I might later on, but what I really wanted it for was to work my under eye. It's got a really nice long tapered shape, and it's got a lot of movement in it, which means that you can kind of distribute the product in a kind of more airbrushed, fluffy way. So that's what I'm hoping it's going to do. And my favourite powder of the moment, the Beauty Bakery Flower Powder in the shade Almond. So I'm just going to, dip my brush straight into the powder and do a lot of tapping off of excess. And that's the nice thing when you have a brush that has a lot of movement. You can tap off a lot of the excess, which means you get more control with the amount of product that you put on your face. So I'm just going to gently tap this powder on under the eye. Oh yes, this is fitting so nicely under the eye. This is so pretty. And you know what I like about it? That you can place the product, but you can also like sweep it away. This is the ultimate under eye powder brush. I think I found it. Oh, that's really nice. That's kind of like applied it, and it looks like a veil on top of the concealer. It's not looking like it's sitting on it. I think the tool that you use is really important when you are applying your makeup products, and that I can see is like chef's kiss. Beautiful. Okay, so bronzer, nothing new to see here. The Makeup Revolution Splendor Bronzer. I go between this shade Deep and Medium Deep, or is it Medium Dark? I kind of just do a back and forth between the two shades. One is a little bit, this one is a little bit more warm, so probably a little bit more suited for bronzer, and the other one is a little bit slightly more cool toned, so works really well for more contouring, but they're not too far off, so you can kind of interchange them a little bit. There is a shade that's forever out of stock that's between these two called Dark, which I think would be my perfect bronzer shade. So I'll keep looking out for that. But if you are looking for something else in the meantime, then those other two shades, plus others, are available on Cocoon. So for blush, I picked up 3 new blushes that I want to show you. One is another Black Radiance, I always forget what these are called, Artisan Colour Baked Blush. And this is in the shade Brick House. It's like a beautiful kind of raspberry red. Plummy, just gorgeous. And you can build this one up. This one isn't as sheer as the other one that I got in Toasted Almond. this one packs on a little bit more colour, but you can just build it up to as much or as little or as much as you want. So there it is with about 3 layers on. That kind of colour is so beautiful on deeper skin tones, that kind of plummy red shade, just gorgeous. Then I also got a palette duo from Coloured Rain. It looks like this. It was part of their Power collaboration, you know, the TV show Power, the 50 Cent show. Yeah, that one. It's part of that duo. I think these are now kind of like sold out, like they're trying to get rid of them. So it was limited edition and there's not many of these left. So I got this in the duo called a Shot. So it's a beautiful peach tone highlighter, blush and highlighter. The blush does have some, where will I put this? The blush does have a little bit of sheen to it, which makes it so pretty to wear because you get like a natural flush. It doesn't just look super matte on the skin, which is I think what I'm kind of leaning towards these days with my blushes, but they need to have some kind of life to them, not just so flat. And then this shade on this side, which is a beautiful complementary kind of rose gold highlight shade. That's what that looks like. I've used this palette a couple of times and I kind of layer them on top of each other. So I would go in with the blush first and then the highlighter on top. The highlighter isn't like a one that sits on the skin. It's not one of those that like has glitters in it and then you can see from like really, really far. I don't really like screaming highlighters. The shade of this is really nice for deeper tones and it just reflects so nicely on top of the other one. So the last blush is from JUVIA'S. While I was picking up other stuff, I was like, let me just throw in a blush and see what they're talking about. So this is an Afrique blush in the shade Bella. It's a beautiful orange shade. You guys know I'm obsessed with like peachy, orangey, earthy toned blushes, more than I am with pink toned blushes. The formula of this is really creamy, like it's really nice and soft. That's what it looks like there. It's kind of like an apricot peach shade. So pretty. It's got a little bit more pink in it than the Coloured Rain one. But again, it's not a super flat matte. It is a little bit more matte, but the formula is really soft, so it doesn't sit on the skin like a solid, harsh colour. So I think with the look that I've got going on, I don't want to add too much of a heavy colour on my face, so I won't be using the Black Radiance. I think I actually want to try out this Bella blush. So that's what we're going to use, and I'm using a stippling brush for this. I'm just picking it up. This is so creamy. You can even tell by how the brush picks it up. And yeah, just going to take this to the high points of my cheekbone and then bring the excess down to my cheek. This is a new way that I've started applying my blush. So not everything on the apple of my cheek, but more to the high point of my cheek up here, almost where you would put the highlighter. I think it just looks a little bit nicer there. Do you see with that placement, it adds a little bit more lift to the face. I'm really loving that. That's available on Cocoon as well if you're interested. There's only a few pieces of this because I think this is also limited edition or they're discontinuing it from the website. So yeah, move fast. Okay, for an all over dusting of the face, sometimes I don't show this when I am doing my face makeup. I don't know why, but I do always go over like my makeup right now with a finishing powder. The one I've been using and loving at the moment is the Sephora Micro Smooth Powder. Love that, beautiful. So I decided to pick up a couple of other powders because powders is like one of those categories that I'm really intrigued about at the moment. And there's the new Fenty powder that I haven't quite decided what colour shade I should get because it's applying very differently on different people. So I need to do a bit more research on that before I pick it up, but that's on my buy list. So in the meantime, I got 2 powders. This is the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Pressed Powder. Basically similar to the Sephora Micro Smooth in that it's baked and that it's supposed to be a finishing powder. Also similar to the MAC Studio, what's that powder called? MSF. I can't remember what the powder is, but I just remember it as MSF. You know the powder that I mean, which I also have used in the past and love. Although this shade doesn't look very promising because it looks pretty light. I think this is their deepest shade, in the shade Cocoa, and I was hoping that it would come out a little bit richer than this, but sometimes powders can be deceiving and they look lighter in the pan than they apply. So let's just, no, let's just give that a swatch. Not got much space left. You can see that there, it's pretty light. I don't think I'll be able to use this as a finishing powder all over the face for me. Maybe only like places like here, like under the eye, if I don't want to use like a loose powder, but I'm not so sure about that. I might get rid of that, but it feels really nice and it had really nice reviews. But yeah, I just don't think I'm going to be able to get away with that. Then I got the CoverGirl Full Spectrum Matte Ambition Powder. Again, I just kind of chanced on this color. This is the color Deep Cool 3. This is actually a foundation powder, so it's pretty heavy. It comes as a powder as well as, comes as a compact, so it has a sponge as well as a little mirror. So great for like touch-ups when you're on the go, but it feels a little bit bulky, so I'm not so keen on the packaging. But let's have a look at the color. Oh, the color looks okay. Oh yeah, that's quite nice. So this part of my skin is actually darker than what's on my face, this part of my arm. So I think that that might work. But bearing in mind that this is a foundation powder, it has a lot more pigment than this other one. So let's give that a go. I've also got a new brush that I want to use, which is the e.l.f. Pointed Powder Brush. Tons of movement in this brush. And I like the fact that it's powder and that it's got point to it, which means that you can be a little bit more precise. The movement is important for a finishing brush. The one that I usually use is this one. This is from BH Cosmetics. It's the vegan No. 2 brush. It's literally just your finishing step, particularly if you've got like foundation on. You don't want to cake on loads and loads and loads of powder unless you're kind of like, you know, going for it for like an all day, all night event. What you're doing is just to set what you've already got on and to finish it off and bring everything together. So I like to use a soft kind of moving brush for this. So I'm just going to dab in on all sides of this brush and tap off excess. Yeah, that's it. And literally just use to finish my face. This is nice. I will use this on a day when I am just doing my concealer and I'm not putting on foundation, and I'll try and use it then as more of an actual foundation, and I'll let you know. But the colour looks pretty good, so I'm confident that it will look nice on the skin. Okay, to finish off my under eye, so let me do that and then I'll be right back because we've got a ton of lip products to go through. Okay, my favourite part of the face, the lips. So I have 4 lip glosses, 1 liquid lipstick and 2 lip liners to show you. So most of these are from JUVIA'S Place, but I also have a new FENTY Gloss Bomb Cream to show you. I picked up the shade FENTY Glow. It was the one that spoke to me the most. I have the original FENTY Glow. So it looks like that. I'm sure you've seen it already. Let me show you what it looks like next to the regular Gloss Bomb. The regular Gloss Bomb is a little bit more peachy, a little bit more orange in tone. The cream is still a kind of peachy nude, but it has a little bit more pink in it than the regular Gloss Bomb shade. And so let me swatch it here for you on my hand. Oh, that's a beautiful color. I'm obsessed with nudes again at the moment. I don't know what it is, but I'm like deep in the nudes. I really used to be like a colourful lip girl, but I don't know. I don't think you can go wrong with a nude. And then let me show you the original Gloss Bomb next to it. So that's of course a lot more sheer, and it has shimmers in it and stuff, but that's what they look like next to each other. yes, I'm happy about the gloss bomb. It looks like I'm gonna enjoy wearing that, so looking forward to putting that on. Okay, so that's Fenty out of the way, so now let's make way for all of the Juvia's Place products. So as I said, I got 3 glosses. I got the shade Cherry Love, which is a red, Caramel Rose, and Sis, which are both nudes. It was really difficult to kind of like narrow down. I almost bought, you know, a very insane amount of lip products from Juvia's Place, but I kept myself calm. But I did pick up some extras on Cocoon, so if any of these kind of take your eye, including a few others which I knew wouldn't work for me, but I know would work for a number of you, I picked up. So here we go, Cherry Love. It's been a really long while since I've owned a red gloss, but the colour of this was just calling my name, so I got that. And then that is Caramel Rose. Yeah, just that beautiful, every person's nude, that works. And then Sis, which is a little bit more pink tone. So let me swatch them all for you. So Caramel, all right, so let's swatch these. So Cherry Love is the red shade. Let's put that over on this side. That's super pigmented. Oh, beautiful. Blue-based red, so works beautifully on dark skin tones. That's just going to be perfect. I mean, masks are killing our vibes when it comes to glosses, but you know what? I've decided I'm wearing my gloss with my mask, whether you like it or not. So I will just carry extra masks and I'll be fine. Or when I get to the place, that's when I apply my lip product. And then this is Caramel Rose. They have a particular smell and I don't know what that is. It's reminding me of something. Caramel Rose. Oh, look at that. So pretty. Yeah, it's just a peachy nude. Beautiful. Peachy nudes for the win. Again, looks really nice when you want to do a kind of, obviously people know that you're wearing makeup, but you don't want it to be a contrasting shade. You want it to kind of blend with a very neutral looking face. That's when you would reach for Caramel Rose. And then Sis, which as I said is a little bit more pink in tone. Oh, actually, Sis and the Fenty Glow look really, really similar. Yeah, really, really similar. Just that I would say that the Juvia's Place one is a little bit more opaque, a little bit thicker. And also I think the Caramel Rose is thicker than the Sis, just by what it's applying there on my hand. And that's what I'm getting with those shades, but look at those. Wouldn't you want those colours in your wardrobe? I think you do, you would, in your lip wardrobe. Okay, then we have a liquid lipstick, and this is a mini one in the shade, what's this called, Scarlet. This is also available, so don't panic. Yes, Scarlet, so it's a small bottle like that in comparison to the big one. Can you see that? Yeah. So this one is a matte lipstick, and again another blue-based red, which you know is where it's at for me with my red shades. Let me swipe it here next to the gloss. Beautiful. Ooh, okay, so yeah, this has definitely got quite a bit more blue in it than the gloss. It looks and reminds me of the Sephora shade Cherry Moon. That's what that looks like. So if you've been looking for a shade like that, then you can have a look at that. It also looks a little bit like Coloured Rain Cherry Blossom, but I don't know if they're going to be exact dupes. But it's in that kind of spectrum. So if you've been looking for a deep blue-based red, then that's the kind of colour to reach for. And then I got two liners. So the liners I got were both red ones. They were out of their Cola liner, which is like a deep brown, which you know is perfect. So when that restocks, we'll get it. But these two are also available. Yeah, so there's a regular red called Ruby. Ruby. Oh yeah, that's nice. A nice blue-based red that will go with all of my red shades, perfect for a lip line. And then this one is called Wine. Yeah, it's a little bit deeper, kind of like a night moth shade almost. Yeah, that's beautiful. I like the liners. They're kind of gel based and they're these wind up pencils, which makes it really easy and you can be precise with your application. So based on all of that, what are we going with? I think I'm going to be predictable and pair together my two nudes. That's Cis and Caramel Rose. I think that's the vibe I want to go for. So I think I'm really drawn to Caramel Rose. So let's just start off with that one and see whether we're going to add anything else to it. Just going to apply that. Oh, look at it. You guys. Look at the shade. I've been wanting a very kind of neutral looking nude tone. That's what it's giving me. It's like I've put on concealer or something in the center of my lip and that's what I'm using. It's beautiful. But I'm just gonna test out, but you know, in the spirit of trying out products, I'm just gonna go over the top with a little bit of Cis. That's it. Now, the only thing I'm noticing about these JUVIA'S Place glosses is that they are opaque and they are like thick. Particularly that first Caramel Rose one, like she's thick. So what you want to do to make sure you don't get any transfer in your teeth like I am right now is once you apply your gloss, you want to do this to take off any excess that would naturally touch on your teeth. But ooh, that's so cute. I'm enjoying that. Isn't that so nice? Oh, very happy with my purchases. So that brings me to the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed this concept, this try on haul, actually seeing the products in action. I am really, really pleased with how everything turned out. The color of that foundation worked in the end. We'll just see how it fares in terms of longevity now that I've got all the rest of the products on top. Congo was a winner for me just because of how beautifully that cream blended out, made it really nice to work with that contour, and I feel like you could make it deeper or light or like not so intense depending on how much you apply and how you work with it. What else did I love? What else did I love? The blushes, beautiful. The lip products, I mean, take a look. Loving it. Yeah, just love all the colours and I think they will all work really beautifully on and like kind of paired in different combos. So I'm obsessed. The only two that I think that didn't work for me are the powder from Wet n Wild, just way too light. I will see on another day how it works under my eye and see whether it's workable. If not, then I'll get rid of it. And I liked the performance of the concealer, but the shade isn't right for me. So I think I definitely need to pick up a lighter shade, but it blended out really, really seamlessly on the face. So I would recommend the product. Just make sure that you get the right shade for you. So if you did enjoy this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. And if you've watched all the way to the end, why don't you go ahead and hit the subscribe button, join the fun gang, and I will see you in my next